Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ramashram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this Satsang session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin this practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of Satsang, inner Satsang and outer Satsang. An example of outer Satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer Satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The Satsang that you will learn today is an inner Satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice Satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a Satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of Satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ramashram Satsang. He was born into a Satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
So happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here. Today, the role of community in satsang, that's the topic I wanted to pick. And right after that, we will, what Eddie was talking about in terms of inner satsang. So we will practice that. So while I was in India earlier, there was a FM session that I was supposed to have, but I wasn't feeling too well. So they gave me some questions. One of the questions was the role of community in spiritual growth. Um, and how important is the role of community in someone's individual spiritual journey, and how one can find and build such a community? So that's interesting, and thanks, Eddie, for providing the satsang overview. Um, One of the points there is group sessions. And I have over and over talked about how my individual practice over decades, uh, the, I think the key um, area which actually has kept it alive, kept it vibrant, kept it deeper is group sessions. But if I look back, the way satsang developed in India, there was, a whole atmosphere of a family, a spiritual family, a community. So if we talk a little bit about that, I'm hoping this year we will graduate from group sessions to a whole, satsang family or a satsang community. Um, so let's first talk about the group sessions themselves. So first and foremost, one of the most important aspects of satsang is these group sessions. Typically, historically, traditionally, it was all in person. In-person effect is obviously a lot deeper, but I find like in today's world, virtual sessions have a place. They cannot replace in person, but these sessions get us grounded, take us almost there. So very important to keep the practice alive. So group sessions have a phenomenal collective energy, and you will feel that. Over the years, I've attended satsang with thousands of satsangis. So here in the West, it's a little difficult to, even visualize how thousands of people are sitting and meditating together. But believe me, I attend multiple sessions in a year where there are, more than 1,000 people, and the energy is through the roof. I've personally experienced over and over, there is a multiplier effect in these sessions. Your inner peace goes to a level which individually is very, very hard to attain. So probably with a long, consistent, and a deep practice, you might get there. But in a group session, the collective energy takes you to higher level, almost effortlessly, without really, you obviously have to get there and you have to be there, but that's all you got to do to get that amazing result. Now, another aspect which fascinates me is, like, imagine thousands of people meditating in silence. It's a miracle in itself. Just a few people over a family dinner, or, think about a college or work related get togethers, the noise level inside and outside just goes, and if my personal experiences, or, things people tell me, keeping a positive backdrop in such a get together is very, very hard. But imagine this now on the opposite side of the spectrum. Satsang is a positive backdrop, positive energy inside and out. And So think about, thousands of people sitting together in silence, in deep meditation. Just a phenomenal impact. So cannot, you know, there is no way to overemphasize the collective energy of group sessions is something that almost fuels your individual spiritual practice. Now, let's then talk about individual energy, right? Because we all are here to embody this transcendental energy, which will have positive effects on our physique, on our psyche, as well as spiritually speaking. So once you embody the transcendental energy, and if you take it to the next level, that's all it is. Like if you embody that energy, you get enlightened, you reach self-realization. And once you um, get to that level, what happens? You start serving the mankind through sharing your path and your learnings. So typically then you will start a religion, you will, or like Guru Maharaj, you start a spiritual community or a spiritual family. So Ramashram Satsang Mathura, which my grandfather started in 1930, is a family of like-minded folks who are pursuing a spiritual path. Anyone from any region, religion, and can join and pursue this path to what he called the ocean of peace. And I'm by, so I actually caught some infection while I was in India, and so a few things have been pushed back. But next weekend I'll be in Seattle. Hopefully by then, I'm hoping to start this virtual online community, so I'll send out the notification. Now, coming back to the spiritual communities, they ought to be built by enlightened individuals. In the Eastern context, in Indian context especially, we call them gurus. Enlighten yourself first, and then think of stepping into creating such a community. So that is something we can always discuss after the meditation. But what I want to emphasize here is who builds the community and what meditation practice is done matters. So how deep, how consistent, how pure the practice is, that does matter. So I've personally, just to emphasize that point, I've personally visited many temples, churches, mosques, pagodas, monasteries throughout the world. And what I find is that my own inner peace. So like when I sit in satsang, I expect, like to achieve this level of higher consciousness, higher level of peace, higher level of, light and love, which we had talked about in other sessions. So what I find is that when you go to one of these places, effortlessly, just by being there, you feel this level of inner peace, and that differs. And the deeper, the more effortless the inner peace is reached, I feel, that level depends on the founder or the ones who practice there. So that, because that vibration, that impact on the environment is longer term and remains with the place. So idea is, don't build a community that leads to self-realization till you have reached that state. So till then, you join a community that gives you a deeper and effortless inner peace. You know, my father used to quote, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, which means that first you go in protection of a self-realized, and then you join the protection of their community or spiritual family. So anyway, we are, here, Guru Maharaj, incidentally, my grandfather started this practice, which was just a package of how he himself, achieved self-realization. So hopefully, so let's practice that. I am very excited. Next week, there is an in-person in Seattle, and I'm hoping this year that we will go from group sessions to a whole vibrant meditating community. And that community will have access to a beginner's toolkit, daily meditation toolkit, opportunities to meet in person, serve, and help others in many ways, a newsletter, a YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. So the whole idea is to build a spiritual family. But let's, get to the core of our session today, which is the meditation, the way this inner satsang, as Eddie was describing, was, pulled together in a very unique meditation practice. So if we go back to one of the founding fathers of yoga, Maharishi Patanjali, he came up with 8 limbs of yoga. Asanas and pranayams, which is physical exercises and breathing exercises, yam and niyam, which is, the behavior traits that you need to, what behaviors you should acquire, what you should give up. But then 4 out of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga that Maharishi Patanjali, articulated and documented, 4 of them are very, they are basically meditative practices. And I refer them to as inner yoga. Basically, that's what Guru Maharaj emphasized. He said, like, if you follow these 4 limbs, then the other 4, which is your behavior and, physical well-being, will follow. So his view was through inward orientation, concentration, or what you concentrate on. So inward orientation, concentration, and then that leads to deep meditation, and which leads to higher consciousness. So basically, first, peace is inside. Don't look outwards. So let's focus inwards and focus on this concept of transcendental energy in form of light. And that light is not far away. It's right here, right now with us. So feel the presence, feel the connection. And, whatever you believe in is the source of that amazingly positive, energizing, transcendental energy. You can even visualize that. That's, so that way it's very, very flexible. So inward orientation leads to, looking inwards. Then you focus and concentrate on transcendental energy in form of light. And that is what we meditate on, go deep into meditation that leads to higher consciousness. That's the whole approach that we will follow. So now, what helps inward orientation? Two things. One, eyes lightly closed and sit in a relaxed and still postures. Both of these are very, very important because every time your body moves, every time the sensory input comes through, uh, you know, all that distracts your mind. We want to concentrate your mind onto one thing. So from multitude of things, you focus on one thing. So after inward orientation, what we're doing is we want to manifest this transcendental energy in form of light that's right here, right now with us. Feel that presence, and that light is entering your heart, enlightening your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. You're absolutely getting immersed in this light. You're becoming the light. And mind wanders away, which it will, natural. You bring it back, which is another form of inward orientation. So mind wants to go outward, you bring it back to focus on this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you completely and totally immersed in this light. And that's the only thought that you will entertain. You will focus and concentrate on that you are the energy. You have this energy right here, right in front of you, entering your heart, distributing throughout your body. And in a deeper state of meditation, you might forget where you started, who you are, where you are, and all that, which is fine. That's the deep state of meditation that leads to a higher consciousness. So another quick 30 seconds. Inward orientation requires eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture. Try to keep your spine straight, but that's okay. It's any relaxed, still posture is fine. And eyes lightly closed. And think of this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. Right now, that's all you do. If you do any mantras, chanting, mindfulness, you can do before or after. This practice will help you with that too. But right now, just one thought and one thought alone is of observing this transcendental energy in form of light, which is entering your heart, enlightening your heart, then it's distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming totally immersed in this light. Music will help concentration. So we'll start and transition into this deep silent meditation through music. And then music fades away. We will be in deep silent meditation for some time, and then we'll transition out with music again. Let's start now. So happy Saturday again. Hope we're all in a better place with this part of the post meditation. So one is it's part of the transition out. So whatever state you are in, um, try to absorb and try to, you know, I think a lot of us would get in a rather disconnected state, and from whatever was going on, you took almost a vacation. Um, and so before you go back, take time to absorb, time to ask questions. No questions are stupid questions. You can put your video on. Yuan, I think everyone can unmute. You can put the questions in the chat as well. And while we do all that, my eldest daughter, Parul, also decided to participate in these sessions. I always feel the next generation, it's almost like the earlier you start investing, and give a longer term time frame, the investment grows. Similarly here, spiritual journey has its own curves and slopes and ups and downs. So sooner you start, the better. And we all go through different phases. So any questions you ask will help somebody else as well. And sometimes, I just reflect and research and come back on those topics, as well. So Parul?
Hello. Can you just confirm if my mic is okay today?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so just wanted to hop on and kind of like expand on being in community. And my dad today spoke a lot about community. And as someone who has grown up in the West, we hear this phrase a lot: you are your own guru. And it's supposed to be an empowering phrase. And I'm not going to get into, the background or where this comes from, or where this developed from, really, because regardless of where the term or the phrase comes from, I think absolutely you can be led by your own guidance system, your own intuition. You should take radical responsibility in your life, and for the things that happen to you and the things that you do to others. And there are areas that you can heal and you can go on that journey on your own. But sometimes I think that a spiritual path, it's kind of like when you first start your career and you're looking for coaches or mentors. And why do we do that? Why do we seek out mentors and coaches? Because they've achieved something that we are looking to achieve. And it's actually funny to me because, in a career, we think it's so normal to follow someone who's already accomplished what we want to accomplish. But then on the spiritual path, we're saying that we want to do it on our own. And that's so interesting to me, because I think, the spiritual path is the path where this is a lifetime journey. And so there's going to be moments where you feel distracted like anything else. There's going to be moments where you feel disconnected like anything else. And then there's going to be moments where you're really connected and, things are moving along. So I feel like in this system, in Satsang, like any system that has a guru, we have this inbuilt guidance from the teachers, and especially, Guru Maharaj, who's, written so many books to lead us and guide us in the right direction. So when we come together here, we're guided, under the wisdom and the spiritual achievements of a guru. And not only that, but we're protected by the light that, we meditate on. And we're guided on our path to enlightenment. And because of that, we can always, have teachers, you can always like reach out to my dad or someone else when you're feeling really disconnected, or when you're feeling like you've gone off the path a little bit, to come back to your heart, to come back to your soul. So when you're here in community, just know that you are supported on this journey, and you have so many people that facilitate these calls who you can reach out to for help along the way. And it's not an easy journey. There's going to be moments where, you know, you get started and you're so, you know, hooked on it and you love it. And then there's moments where, you know, we live in a polarity, so negativity can come in the way. And when you feel that going off course, there's so many people to reach out to and come back to. So I just wanted to say that, you know, there is that phrase, you are your own guru, but I think, you know, in this system, we get really lucky, because what we can accomplish in 50 years, we actually have that teacher who can help us accomplish it within 10, 20, 30 years, or however long it's going to take, but we have that guidance inbuilt. So if you want to expand on that, Dad, that's just what I wanted to say today.
So before we do that, there are a couple of questions, and thanks. So D, meditation is good. I meditated on God to leave other thoughts out. Is that good? So to me, all meditations are good. And whatever you believe in, just in this system, there are two important things. One, you know, it's upasana, which is like sitting right in front. So think of, you know, God in a conscious form. And to me, transcendental energy is that higher consciousness itself. And then light is coming into our heart. You know, so whatever source you think works for you is great. Just make sure it's in the form of light, or at least the source of light, and that light is entering your heart and distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming. So essentially, if to me, you know, whatever the belief system is, it's higher consciousness, it's transcendental energy, and it's a unifying concept for me. So we want to become like them, and that's the energy. So their form of energy or our form of energy becomes the same. So we become that energy. Anna is asking, when you mention about focusing on light during meditation, is this light coming from within? No, actually, light will eventually come from within. We will get to a point where we embody the light, love, pure, you know, divine love, and peace. So till then, it's coming from outside. And as I mentioned before, you know, it's just feel that presence, feel that it's right here, right now. And how do you refocus your mind when it starts wandering off? So that's inward orientation again. Basically, you know, when you start this meditation, what you're doing is you're closing your eyes so that the sensory input that was coming and distracting us, you sit still, because every time the body moves, you're, you know, so all those things, it's like you want to have a good sleep, you create this environment. Even, you know, making sure you meditate in the same place and same time when it's possible helps. So all that helps, but basically the idea is that when you realize, so every time when you're trying to meditate, you will, because there are things going on in your life, there's situations and thoughts, So you will find that mind has wandered away, which is very, very, very natural. But all you have to do is just come back to this source of light that's, that light is entering your heart and distributing throughout your body. Just observe that. A lot of people get into almost making an effort in trying to visualize. Don't do that. It should be effortless. It should be something that's like, right now I am in light and I don't have to do anything. Why do I need? It should be as natural and as easy as that. And Mary, okay, so when the monkey brain steps in, is it a good idea to use breathing focus to calm the mind? So if, so I was thinking about something similar this morning, and one of the things is that try individually, a few sessions. Like I would say 4 or 5 group sessions will actually get you to a point where you would realize if this is working or not working. So if breathing, any kind of breathing, breath work helps your concentration, then do it before and then get into this meditation. While in this meditation, it's like you're not doing anything, right? It's like art of doing nothing. So I would suggest that. But, mindfulness and breath work and all that does help concentration. And we should, do anything that helps. That's fine. But find at least a few minutes of deep, silent meditation. This will be very effective, very efficient in the sense that it'll get you to higher places sooner rather than later. So I would say, yes, it gets sometimes a little difficult. I have a slide which talks about how to tackle the monkey brain. Maybe next session will be in Seattle, but yeah, maybe I can see if I can share that through email. My talk on how to tackle the monkey brain. And what happens when you can't see? So Jeff, what happens when you can't see the light? So, one of the things that I have read is it's like sometimes it's more important to just observe what the mind is up to rather than just try to control. When you observe, slowly it starts to concentrate and reduce the barrage of thoughts and stuff. So similarly here, we go through phases, and there are times when everything is so refreshing, everything is so, you literally see the light, you feel positive, you feel energized, refreshed, and all that. But my father used to say there are 2 other phases that are very, very common, and not just for the beginners. So there are times when it's you close your eyes, and it is, so there are two things happen. So one is when you close your eyes, it's almost like as though a movie has started. You see things like almost a sequence of things that you have seen or not seen. They just come across in a fairly continuous, barrage of thoughts, and that is a cleansing exercise. That's a very common thing that happens, and people think that my meditation is not okay, but that's not the case. That's just a phase that you have to go through. The third one is when you close your eyes and it's dark and it's very, very, even before the meditation, you don't feel like you're getting into it, and it's lethargy and darkness and negativity and all that takes over, and you don't see the light. But the thing is, again, these phases are part of. So my father used to give an example that if you have a room full of dirt, but dirt is settled, it looks, okay. When you start cleaning, the dirt fills the room and it feels more dirty for some time before it gets cleaned up. So it's almost like that. So I would say it's like, just feel that you are in light, and just continue to meditate that way. And as I said, I think group sessions help. If you go through a few group sessions and still the challenge continues, then obviously, as Parul was saying, that more guidance required, but slowly I think you will get the hang of it. More than what you see or don't see, it is the after effect. If your behavior is getting better, if you feel refreshed after the meditation, if those two things, either of those things are happening, then your meditation is going good. It's like sleep. Did I sleep well? You won't know while you were sleeping. It's afterwards. D is saying, I meditate some nights using an app from Google Play Store to help me sleep. It starts out with deep breathing. Yeah, which is fine. Okay, so Arvindji, you how are you?
Namaskar, Bhaiya. I'm good. Thank you. And again, so fortunate to join Guru Maharaj's family. And you bring us his grace and blessings. So I was just thinking when Parul was saying so rightly that we are fortunate in this satsang to have that help and support of Guru Maharaj's energy. And, just thinking that, if you climb a mountain like Mount Everest or Matterhorn or whatever mountain, you rely upon the guide because you can try to climb it yourself, but there's greater chances of slipping and falling, injuring yourself. You rely on the guide. So surrender, as Param Puja Papaji used to say, complete surrender is the best and the easiest way. It's hard to achieve, but in due course, perhaps, just like if the guide throws you down a rope to bypass a crevasse, to ascend that mountain. So, to my humble mind, Guru is that guide who's been there. So we're fortunate. So thank you.
Sure thing. Any other thoughts, comments? Kamala, Steve? All right, that was a very good session. Thank you all. Eddie, any wrap-up thoughts before we close today?
I just remind people that being around others of like mind is beneficial to our spiritual growth. But in addition to that, it's like everyone was saying today, is that we benefit by the increase of the transcendental energy that we can utilize to help us in our journey as well. So I just wanted to make mention that being around people of like mind helps you grow, gives you an opportunity to discuss spiritual topics that you wouldn't be able to discuss with other people in certain situations. So, we should be appreciative of that as well.
Absolutely. So, Steve, anything before we wrap up? I just saw you on the video, so,
No, I just last week you were talking about how long you've been doing this and how much work you feel like has to be done. So I almost sensed a little bit of a sadness in your heart as you said that. But being in a group like this with so much light, it helps me to meditate better. It helps to inspire me. I just think being in a community is a force multiplier. So I thank you for your guidance, and I thank all of you for sharing your thoughts and your inspiration today.
oh, you're so welcome, Steve. It's I wouldn't call it sadness. It's almost like and pardon me for saying this, but it's like kids, right? When that they're going this way, and it's not and it's still happens, and you're like, so what I find is that the amount of misinformation and almost like obstacles and hurdles are plentiful in a spiritual journey. I know that for sure. Right. And then why people throw more at it, that just it's not just bothers me, it just makes me wonder how as humans we could be doing that. Right. I mean, idea should be that we all work together so that we all are in a higher plane. I mean, as simple as that, right? Somebody asked my grandfather's guru, and he was asking about what's your belief system and what he said. You know what? I just believe in becoming a better person and making people better. That's it. Through any system. If we are becoming better human beings, awesome. But then I think and in today's culture, and even when I read things from very long ago, letters from Guru Maharaj and his guru and others, as well as like scriptures from way back when, it's like this chaos has always been there, right? But the effort to cut through it and reach higher consciousness, those efforts were always there as well. But unfortunate thing is that very, very, very few really get there. And that, I think, it is a matter of sadness to say that, it is like, why can't we all just work towards world peace? In few years, what you realize is like, hey, it's not worth it because it's not going to happen. But no, I think we all ought to make that effort, and an honest effort is all it takes. So, another thought that was just, somebody had asked me, like, do you want to create a following? And I'm like, that doesn't even cross my mind. All I am doing is I'm pursuing a path to higher consciousness, and I want to help everyone to just do that. That's it. There's no frills. There's no, anything else attached to that. And what I like about Guru Maharaj's system is no registration, no rituals, no this, that, or blah, blah, blah. It's like pure focus on the goal. But thank you so much for such kind words. Really appreciate it. And on that note, yes, be with light, love, and peace, and continue to join these group sessions. They effortlessly take you to a higher level than what you have to build your individual practice. Yes, but group sessions help, and hopefully will create a more tight-knit community to help each other out. So on that note, see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.